Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 9:26 a.m. on the 18th of April 2024. It's a lovely morning. It looks a bit like we might get showers today though, but it's sort of the sun sort of creeps out from behind the cloud cover and shines down upon us, and it's all very sweet, really. I've been awake since 8:30, which is, I'm waking up around about 8:30 these days, which is unusual because I'm so astonishingly tired. But it is what it is. I went to bed early last night, about 9:30, and I got up 3 times during the night to pee, which is, not too bad. Not too better than it was, but yes, there's lots of I guess not breathing in my sleep state, but anyway, it is what it is. I've survived this way for 21 years since I was diagnosed with sleep apnea, and I'm sure I had it for quite a long time prior to that. So I've survived. So I'm not going to. I had a bit of a mental freak out in front of my psychiatrist yesterday, which was a bit hilarious, quite frankly. I don't know what comes over me, but it is as my psych said, it is sleep deprivation. So yes, I'm being stabbed by an underwire, which means I have to go out and buy new bras. I freaking hate that. Nothing lasts. Nothing's made properly. Everything goes kaput, and it's frustrating. But anyway, so I don't know why that's gone out of its screen. I was all ready to start reading, and it's blipped off. Can you believe it? I didn't touch a bloody thing. So annoying. I have to go back. We have to find the page, and we have to go back. I'm frustrated by my own glitching computer, and what I think is incompetence is actually, I don't know why it does that. I had it all set up ready to go before I started, before I hit the start button of the video, right? So it's a bit odd. Oh, I know what happened. Charlie's sitting on it. That's what happened. Charlie's sitting on the keyboard, and it must have turned us off. All right, Charlie. She doesn't know. You don't know what you don't know, Charlie. Just open up my curtains a bit because I like light. Actually put my air conditioning on, because now I've opened up my curtains, I can feel the heat radiating. My little Charlie girl, you gonna help Mummy make a vlog today? Yes, she said, I already helped you. I turned you off, Mama. You should be resting, Mama. I can't rest all the time, Charlie. I've got to function some of the time. We'll do it in the mornings, and I can be a zombie the rest of the day. How's that? Okay, Mama, you was telling the story. Right, we're back. We've got it all back. Phew. So, today's Memories of 18th of April 2024 is titled The Bad Penny Prodigal Progenitor Returns as Ashes, releasing old lovers back to their own darkness, delighting in my kind messenger who bought the crystal candelabra. And what is normally a photo that you post, I actually posted a meme that says, love yourself first and everything else falls into line. My glasses are all foggy. Why are my glasses foggy? Oh well. Is it my glasses that are foggy or is it the camera that's foggy? Hang on a minute. Let's just do that. And it's a bit better. Right. Where was I? Start again. Love yourself first and everything else falls into line. You really have to love yourself to get anything done in this world. And if you cede your authority to someone else, like people did with the COVID regime, you end up ceding your health and very often your life as well. So if you love yourself enough to stand up for yourself and know when to say, hell no, I won't go, you give yourself opportunities that you might not have ever dreamed would be so very, very necessary and important, and basic stuff like continued survival on our planet, right? Anyway, that quote was by Lucille Ball, and she was a very strong, independent woman, so she knew something about loving herself enough to succeed in her endeavours as a comedian and an actor and a wife and a mother and a human being on this planet. 18th of April 2023. 1 year ago. Me feeling very happy and triumphant. Sitting at my jeweller's bench and feeling happy and successful in my own tiny little ways that haven't actually generated an income, but shit happens. It's all good, babies. I'm alive against all the odds, and that too is a form of success. Here's me sorting out all my beads and here's me buying all the molds for the special silicone mold stuff I bought that I was gifted birthday money from my friend Margaret, which was very sweet and kind of her. So I bought things for my jewellery hobby, you know, as you do. Today I used my birthday money to buy little containers to use as moulds for my Umu silicone rubber moulds. I bought paddle sticks to use for stirring the 2 parts of silicone. I bought plastic bead containers. I really like these. So practical for storing tiny beads. I bought modelling clay to use as a base to sit models inside the moulds. Also rubber bands to hold the mould together while pouring in the resin. Happy Mama T from Titania's Realm. Thank you, Margaret. (18th of April 2021). Still thinking about the kind but unusual man who bought the crystal candelabra and gave me a message. You are loved. It might not be in a way you can relate to, but you are indeed loved. My hair stood on end. This just 2 days after the Viking Vulva, who did a rune reading for me, told me to send my former lover back into the dark, so he is no longer immersed and all merged with my light body, and so I can set myself free. Which I did indeed do, but it took some time before that energy kind of settled. What does this mean? Did the man mean God or Great Spirit loves me in unusual, often testing ways, which has been my experience? I have a rather unusual relationship with God. Or did he mean my former lover? Or did he pick up on all the cruel, sadistic, vexatious spirits, former biological family, step-parent creatures, and that dead ex-lover? Why can't I have a true love that relates to me in noble, kind, respectful, yet passionate, loyal, faithful, loving ways? Indeed, why can't I have that? There's no reason why I cannot have that. If I would just stop forming attachments or with unavailable men, I might be able to have that. You just have to shake your head. What good is a love that is out in the ether somewhere, unattainable, untenable, fucking untethered by truth, decency and loyalty, outstripping other women, then trawling them like verminous trophies in my plain sight? That relates to Dave and Marco and other former lovers who were really sadistic towards me. It was evil what they put me through. It really was. There was no need for that behaviour. If you're not interested in a woman, you just move on, which is perfectly acceptable. But to shove it consistently every weekend in my face the way they did was sick, really sick. And then they wondered why I acted up about it and didn't want them in my energy anymore. That's how sick they actually were. Anyway, is that a love that is relatable, worthy, true? No. But love has blossomed in my heart and in my spirit. I am learning new skills and breathing freely of life's magic and wonder and creativity back into my body, mind and soul. Even on my solitary walk, dance, wild berserker frenzied mosh pit of a life. A strange love that bore stranger ripenings, like a custard apple about to explode. Ha! Bite me, bitches. I am ready for more juicy, fruitful goodness in my once desecrated existence. I rejoice in the solid, authentic, loyal love of my true friends, pets, garden, and daughter. Now just me and Charlie. Just you and I, Charlie, left for the zombie apocalypse. We're still holding our ground though, aren't we, baby girl? Yes, we are. We're still holding it together. Sometimes even I don't know how I'm doing this, but my psychiatrist was so gorgeous to me yesterday. That man loves me like no other mortal man has loved me, and indeed it is relatable and platonic and a therapeutic alliance, and but it's powerful. I tell him that I'm dying because, well, we're all dying. We're all in various stages of dying, and some of us have got another 30 or 40 years ahead of us, and some of us, who knows. But he immediately, he could see how purple my lips, they were actually more purple yesterday. Must have got a little bit more sleep, a little bit more oxygen during the night. They're still quite blue though. But I said to him, I'm getting hypoxic and I don't know why. He said, because you're sleeping more now that you're not interrupted constantly with a bladder, you're getting more sleep, but in your sleep you're not breathing. Said, so you've got hypoxia. I said, yes, I thought that's what was happening, but I was kind of in denial, you know. So grateful to get more blocks of sleep and less interruptions during the night. And so the pendulum swung the other way and sliced me with the sleep apnea now. So he's going to try and investigate who would be a good sleep and or respiratory specialist for me to go and see. With my significant trauma issues, it's hard for me to, you know, be vulnerable to doctors and or anyone really, but it's very, very difficult for me to cede my physical authority over to any doctor. I even got quite triggered when I saw the skin doctor on Monday, which really should not be happening, but that's where I'm at now. It's because I'm vulnerable, feeling ill, and puts me into a vulnerable state and makes me get triggered easily. And anyway, so he's now trying to find who would be a suitable doctor for me to see that will maybe, I have little faith in it, find a treatment for my sleep apnea that's not too invasive and doesn't send me off the Richter scale like the last time I tried it in 2003, right? So I don't have much faith that they'll have a treatment for me, but my psychiatrist is convinced that in 21 years there have been quite a lot of advances and there might be something that can help me. Please God, because, you know, I've been struggling for quite some time now and I'm quite contented to actually die, to be honest. It would be a release and a relief. But just when my life got good and interesting and, you know, I'm learning silversmithing skills and I'm feeling positive about my future, and I even have the most beautiful romantic overtures from, you know, men in my life whom I do adore. My life suddenly starts to blossom. I resign to die. Well, I'm a bit like that. It's just when you're not well, and I've been chronically unwell all my life. It's kind of a constant kind of, what's the word? Carrot on a stick to transcend this physical body and move into the light and just escape any further forms of torture, including my ill health. But I told my psychiatrist, I said I have a duty of care to keep this body going, even though mentally and spiritually I know it's absurdist. I'm in this physical form for a reason. I have to nurture it and honour it and keep it healthy for as long as I can. So I submitted, and I don't like submitting to him finding out what would be the best possible, you know, treatment options for me. And it's very kind of my psychiatrist, because he knows that I'm alive against my own will, quite frankly, most of the time, literally pushing shit uphill. I said to him, look, I've fought so hard for my life, Brian. I've stayed alive against all the odds. I even dance like a wild, you know, a wild woman every weekend to have exercise to try and re-innovate my body as long as I can. And now I'm depleted, you know. I'm just depleted. It's just all too much. But I have tried hard. Maybe other people wouldn't think so, but I have tried very, very hard to have a lovely, reasonably healthy, triumphant life. So, anyway, I continue with the reading. I'll finish off that last line. I rejoice in the solid, authentic, loyal love of my true friends, including my psychiatrist, pets, garden, and daughter. The rest can go on their own journey, stooping their way through life. To stoop means to fuck, by the way. Stooping their way through life, forever feeding on women's light and women's souls like the empty zombies they always were. Don't come back to me until you have learned to fill yourself up with your own light and or love and innate talents. And I might add to that, don't come back to me ever. I've healed from your malfeasances and evil towards me, and it took a decade, Dave. So just don't follow me at red lights. Don't. You brought nothing to my life that was joyous and comforting or even kind. So just continue on with your stuppery and be happy in your own world and stay the fuck away from me. I am growing my own energy back to her former glory. It was brittled and blown apart by shades who were hateful and envious and callow. But look, here I am, doing this life even when it took a miracle, at least a dozen miracles, to cleave me to this life, woven intricately into the patterns of Gaia and her abundant mysteries. A humbling, breathtaking feat, a fait accompli. By now, most of my enemies know that they should never have fucked with the Tanya. I had mysterious angels on my side, guiding and protecting me and bringing me to this season, this moment, this breath, and this immense love, the love of the gods. Little girls, broken, beaten, debased, never give up on love. We know it's out there, even when we cannot see it, feel it, embrace it physically. It's a holding pattern until the next dimension, holding me precious. It's hope and sacred trust and inspiration, and how quickly the extra funds flew to me to float me along when I cried out to the gods, enough suffering, enough poverty, enough trauma, and enough false, superficial, treacherous people. To gift me the talents and skills so I can monetize my life in such a way that I have more than just barely scratching an existence, more than being a burden on my most gracious and beloved benefactors. Grateful that I am, but I want to release the training wheels and learn to be financially independent. A fantasy, I know. But I know I have been heard and seen by the gods, and now the new work begins to manifest my highest ideals. And if I never make it, embody a self-sustaining existence, free of all abuse and surrounded by true, life-affirming love. Know this. I tried. Just going to shut the door because all the air conditioning is blowing down the hall and it's still hot in my corner. Yesterday, one of my dog friends went over the Rainbow Bridge Darth was 17. I will miss his dear little face and personality when I go to drumming. And he was such a dear little dog. Actually, Dave turned up with one of his women, designed to, I don't know what his intentions really were, but kind of designed to stalk and humiliate me, right? And of course, I had Bobo with me at that time, but Darth came up, and I was on the verge of tears because it was just so awful. It was just beyond awful, and I was trying to hold it together because I didn't want to give Dave and his strumpet, the satisfaction that they'd upset me, and because there was no need for that behaviour. Actually, I'd already long time let go. I mean, yeah, I used to text him occasionally, but I wasn't holding out hope for a true loving partnership between us, because that was clearly, never going to happen given he's a fucking sociopath. But anyway, I don't want sociopaths in my bed or in my house or in my life or on any form or any way or any manner. But it was still a seeping wound at that time. I was still harbouring a lot of trauma and heartache and distress. So Darth came up to me, as only dogs can know, because dogs see into your soul. They see your distress, even though I was stoically holding it together. And he just looked at me and he put his paws in my lap and pushed his little face into me and touched noses with me. Oh, it was delightful. And then I started bawling. I couldn't hold it anymore. But anyway, I kind of quickly wiped my tears and hid it. But Darth was a beautiful soul. He really was. And Beauregard, why can't people be more loving and authentic and genuine like dogs or cats or birds even? Come here, my love. She's climbing on the curtains. Say hello to the people, Charlie. She says, don't worry, Mama T. I love you even if no other human does. I know, Charlie. She's my baby, aren't you? You my baby? You was my baby. My little baby. All right. Here we go. You want to be with Mama? All right, you can sit up with Mama. You're probably going to poo on my dress, but oh well. I wore this dress yesterday, so it's still cleanish, but if it gets pooed on, it's due for a wash anyway. I posted a memory from the young ones. He's going to get us. He's going to turn us into vampires, and we'll all be dead and yet still alive, like Leonard Cohen, which just cracked me up no end. We'll all be dead yet still alive, like women that stay in love with assholes and continuously hold on against all hope. And even I began to wonder why at the end, what that connection was ever really truly about. But after letting go some years ago, and it took still some years, I'm so loved in the last it's 8 months, isn't it now? Yeah, almost 8 months since I moved to another dance space. I'm treated with so much kindness and I'm so loved. So, it's just a matter of finding your vibe, finding your tribe, and surrounding yourself with people who are good and kind and who genuinely have your back and actually care about you as a human being. And although I haven't found a truly loving sexual partnership because of unavailabilities, I have been included and treated with sweetness and kindness and, such love. So I'm very, very grateful and happy about that. And, who knows, one day I may even find a partner that wants to be with me, even though I'm not all that well most of the time. Someone that loves me anyway. And that's a fantasy, people, because most men need a woman who's healthy and vigorous and working and pulling in the money and, vibrant. And this is as good as I'm ever going to be at this stage in life. And it's not all that desirable, I guess. But anyway, the dance will continue as long as I can, because I need it for my little bit of exercise at least. And my one night out, being in the world but not of the world, dancing my dance and enjoying the music. It's good for me, and it's meaningful to me, and it's my own brand of magic. And I'll keep it up for as long as I can. 18th of April 2020. I'm really exhausted today. I've had pain in my drain site and or liver area, which is by the drain site was where they put in the drain when they took out my gallbladder. And and my left wrist is aching. I don't know why the wrist was aching. I must have sprained it on something. But yesterday was a powerful and beautiful day. A lovely healing from Michelle, who is my French-Jewish shaman friend in America. French-American, Jewish, Native American shaman. So very powerful spirit he is, and a wonderful man. And also the healing of the ecstatic dance with Monica and Adrian, which I used to participate in ecstatically and joyfully. I feel very open and supercharged in my energy, even though my body is doing its usual slump. Something is manifesting in my spirit, not sure what yet. I spoke with Lynn today, who reminded me that even Creator dared not tame me. I was built this way for a reason beyond mortal ken, including my own fiery ken. So I need only go with the flow and accept and receive the heartfelt healing and be patient. I have experienced exponential growth since my father died in early March 2017. So I just have to stay on this bucking, diving, thriving, thrusting, jive turkey of a Mustang Quay ride and hold on to my hat and guard my tuchus, winky face. I know I will eventually get to ride into the sunset like a forlorn, tobacco-chewing, spitting cowboy girl. But it's not the destination that counts, but the journey. Riders in the storm, through the storm, hair wild and free, eyes fixated on the dream, upside down and back to front. Hey Yoka, where have you been all my life, you schmuck? Right here, Tanya, all along, right here. Phew. In a time of COVID isolationism, the good citizens of the Jewel Box community group here on Facebook offered their wares. A few weeks ago, a woman offered to take photos of families or couples for $19. I felt excluded as I live alone. But I thought, oh well, whatever. But the photos that were posted were quite lovely, so I decided to speak out. I stated that it was a shame that single people were excluded and I would have liked to have had my photo taken too. The woman photographer apologised and said she had not realised her advertisement came across as exclusionary, offered to take my photo if I booked in next week. Fair enough. Okay, I thought. This evening, some guy selling his wood-fired pizza, he advertised on Wednesday. He posted he was making them this evening, so I looked up the original post and rang his number and left an order for a pizza, expecting he would ring me back to confirm what time to pick up. No response. No response an hour and a half later. Okay, odd. So I posted in the group that it is unprofessional to advertise one's business if they've no intention to actually respond to orders. So interestingly, several men, not the pizza making guy, jumped to his defence to tell me he was busy and it's not Domino's. Like, duh. If I wanted Domino's, I would not be ordering from my local community, would I? So I stated that I had actually called at 4:36 p.m. precisely and no response. So they were all posting photos of themselves eating the pizza, so I told them to enjoy their pizza. You special, special people. To which they responded, I could order later in person, to which I replied, I would be saving my money for something more satiating and respectful. My final comment before I removed myself from this group was that I do not subscribe to their elitist condescension, and the Jewel Box community group, priceless. I have to laugh, they've changed the name to Gembox. It's the same frickin' deal, you know. Always be suspicious, by the way, of people who continuously change their names and identities. It's always a fucking scammer or a con artist or a person with a lot to hide. Always find that really sus. But anyway, I continue. This is not the first time I have felt excluded and or treated extremely rudely, i.e. my neighbours across from me, although legally parked, it is extremely hard to back out of my driveway as their litany of vehicles block my exit. I also noted with wry consternation how my immediate neighbours competed the other day with the lovely family who found Charlie over their free library, which I contributed a bunch of books to. They were notably uncomfortable that I had made friends in the hood. But you know, I am so used to this isolationism and epic snobbery and actual deliberate orchestrated abuse, i.e. car blocking, and my former dead neighbour who used to threaten to rape me, that most of this is like water off a duck's back. I dislike living amongst such rude, selfish, and in fact dangerous people. But such is life. I have lived in far worse situations where myself and my children were regularly threatened. So tonight I'm sitting here quietly. COVID is a gift. Indeed it is, a backhanded gift in many, many ways. It has shone a light in all the darkest places of the neighbourhood, in fact in this entire city. I have enjoyed the attempts of some people in the hood to be kind and friendly and decent, while the rest chew on their rather exclusive pizza and snobbery and, yes, unprofessional, disgusting attitude. It's raining so gently and grateful, happy woman here, smiley face. And my friend Kelly Ann, who lives in out Western Australia, not far from Perth, wrote, just the opposite side of this great continent, wrote, same, how odd. And Brechtje, who is in the Netherlands, wrote, it's far too dry here in the Netherlands. Normally we have a lot of rain in the spring, but it has been dry for about a month now, and it will be for another 2 weeks. I'm afraid of the trees. She meant I'm afraid for the trees. I replied, at Brechtje, it's been very hot the past few days here. April is usually cooler by the time of my birthday. It was 33 degrees on Friday. Another thing, Jared, Crystal, Lynn and myself, plus Nigel in New Zealand, all complained of feeling drained and unusually fatigued the past few days. Even my dog has been lethargic. He vomited for a few days last week, seemed better, then in the past few days has been markedly depressed or withdrawn. I worry the councils and or government are putting something in our water supply to keep us docile. As we are all empaths and highly sensitive, so it could be we are affected by the global grief and shutdown, but it seems odd that we are all quite exhausted. I had a good day today though. And still in 2020 I posted, blue eyes have completely colourless stromas. Tag all your blue-eyed friends. I wrote, mine turn green when I have been crying. I also have a brown spot in my right eye, which in iridology indicates that I have weak lungs. I have other changes in my iris with aging, which probably reflect the state of my liver and other health issues. It is interesting what our eyes reveal about our inner states. And indeed, I have the beginnings of cataracts as well, which is why I get quite a bit of blurred vision now. So yeah, this getting old thing, it's not for sissies. It really isn't. 11:11 p.m. I wish I had $20 million. That's a joke, people. I mean, it's a real wish, but I don't expect it to ever come true. And lived in Byron Bay, surrounded by people who genuinely love and respect me. Safe and happy and carefree and financially independent and stable, with my true love partner by my side, my pets, my daughters, and my true friends, in a magnificent house overlooking the sea. Oh, it's a wonderful dream. Sometimes I go there in my imagination, in my happy place. Imagine, being wealthy and carefree and immersed in true love, right? Why not? It's a worthwhile fantasy to be having. It's not harming anyone. It's not coming true, but it's not harming anyone. 18th of April 2019. I caught up with Crystal at Carindale today. She had just been to the dentist. We had lunch together, then got a few groceries. I had only gotten up at 11 a.m, so still felt tired and weak, but it was good to spend time with my daughter. I drove her home and she went to get a skirt she had made for me. Awesome. I was glad to get back home and went to lie down immediately. I just don't have much energy. Tomorrow I will rest as much as possible. It's a beautiful day. So as you can see, that was 5 years ago. So I've been living in this state for decades. Just why every now and then, like yesterday in front of my psychiatrist, I get a little hysterical and but it is what it is. I said to him, why won't you just let me go, doctor? He says, because I simply can't, because there's another 20 years in you. I'm not giving up on you. I simply refuse to give up on you. And the love emanating from his eyes, it was beautiful. I am truly deeply loved in the most astonishing ways by people who want to see me live a full and vibrant and happy and joyous and deeply loved life and want to see me win. To you, my beautiful psychiatrist. April 18th, 2018. Today I achieved 2 goals. One was to finally buy the correct batteries for my pepper mill. Now I just need to buy peppercorns. And 2 was to make more homemade washing powder. Oh, that was such a big job. I gave up on it in the end. Apart from getting up early to mouth breathe about the place until housing inspection rang me at 8:30 a.m. to cancel, I have not achieved very bloody much. I bought bones for my Beau, who was one happy chewy dog though. Tomorrow Crystal's coming over to take some more stuff. Phew, getting there slowly. Not well today, home from the shops and feel weak and sweaty. It's so annoying. Only a good day here and there, then bam, another illness. Oh well, just have to keep riding the waves. Still battling exhaustion today, but relatively content. Housing cancelled the inspection, so they will come next week instead. Murky, rainy day, but good for the garden. We had some glorious weather the past few days. Everything in perfect harmony. 18th of April 2017. At the end of the day, my darlings, this is how we end up. Smoke and ashes. So enjoy every day above ground, even if you feel a bit fucking woeful, because every day above ground is your day to create, to love, to enjoy, to nourish yourself, to nurture yourself. And if you have a wonderful, loving partner to make love with, just live your very best life at the best that you can manage, given your own health issues, wherever you are and whatever state you're in. This is my message to you and to myself, by the way, because it quickly passes and then we start a new journey in another form somewhere else. But meanwhile, we have our own physical bodies and we have to make the most of it, my darlings. So, 18th of April 2017. Bear in mind my father passed away on the 2nd or the night of the 2nd and the 3rd of March. So they took their sweet fucking time sending back his ashes. So I got woken up by the arrival of my father. Had to sign for the evil prick. The courier, a young Māori man, tried to hand the parcel to me. I said, nah, just leave the parcel there. The prick isn't getting in my front door. He went a little pale, then got a bit freaked as he left the front gate open, so Bobo ran out to cross the road. I told him not to worry, went and rescued the dog. Bobo was very good about coming back, whereas my little Pomeranian, if she got out the gate, she was in far north Queensland in -5 seconds. She would just go hell for leather. But Bobo was pretty good. He'd run up and down the street, but usually did come back. Now time to find out when the low tide is, as I want David Phillips's last vestiges gone ASAP. Ugh. Isn't that terrible that you feel that way about your own father? I know it sounds terrible, but he really was a fucking monster to me. Him and my mother, and the other stepfathers as well. So I really didn't want to be made responsible for his ashes, but his lawyer foisted him upon me because, frankly, she got paid handsomely to deal with his remains. She could have just gone down and stuck him in a fucking rose bush somewhere. But no, the lazy bitch made him my problem. You know, it's just evil is what it was. I should have said, give me back half of the money that you were paid for this legal wrangling, since I have to do the job myself, right? Oh God, they were animals. But anyway, life goes on. I took him to King Island and planted him where, you know, well, they're not exactly together, but they're all on that island. Planted him where Case and my mother are, different parts of the island. So they're together, but not quite together, if you get my vibe. Because they fought all the time in life. They fought like cat and dog, but they wouldn't stay away from each other because they were obsessed. It was insane. My family of origin were all completely fucking insane. But anyway. Another example of synchronicity. My dickhead dad is in my boot. He was almost 89 in 3 days after his death. I saw this car for a few days, which was odd. I kept, wherever I drove around, kept seeing this car with this number plate, right? Jared and I called it, what did we call it? Number plate Ouija. It was like messages on a Ouija board. All these number plates flashing up at me. Still happens from time to time too, getting messages that way from spirit. Feeling a tad fucking haunted and or paranoid. My family of origin had huge mana, that means spiritual power. Never leave me alone. Frankly, I am rather sick of their bullshit, dead and alive, laughing out loud. And here's the proof, right? In front of me, stopped. Dad, 89. Chilling, isn't it? Fucking chilling. It's interesting to note that ex-lover Dave, another Dave, also still haunts me, although he's a living person, a living entity, and I've a long time ceased communication with him. He also follows me around at red lights or crossroads, and with reasonable regularity. I mean, last year it happened twice, so twice a year is not so bad. But it's a bit spooky how the Davids want to follow me around and stalk me when I'm driving my vehicle. It's odd. It's a bit odd. But anyway, I mean, I'm not afraid of them. I just literally, dead and alive, tell them all to fuck off. But it's still odd. What you doing, Charlie? You've been a good girl. I know, you're sitting in the window like one of those Amsterdam girls. She is beautiful though. You are beautiful, Charlie. I posted an article from the New Zealand Herald.co.New Māori students could suffer from teacher bias. Ain't that the fucking truth? It was bad. Here I write why it was so bad. I sat in a history class for my school certificate year at Wellington Girls College in 1980, up the back with 2 Māori girls and 1 Pacific Islander girl. They were largely ignored by the racist cunt of a teacher, Miss Evans. I was bright, so I actually doubled up by explaining lessons to them, as they often felt overwhelmed and she did not explain stuff adequately to them. She grew increasingly hostile when she realised I was trying to assist these girls. I was actually doing her fucking job for her, right, as well as trying to learn from that bitch at the same time. It was a lot of pressure on me, actually, to be honest. The girls weren't terribly bright, but that's no reason to discriminate against them. They were discriminated against because they were Māori and Pacifica. It was outrageous. You know what? I should have reported her, but it never occurred to me. I just thought they need help, so I'll help them. So I would repeat the lessons to them or explain things and... anyway. When I attended my history examination for school certificate, already a nervous wreck, she was waiting outside. She sneered at me. "I predict you will fail, Tanya." I was aghast and mortified. I went in and completed the exam. 6 weeks later, when the results finally came in the mail, I went up to her, having graduated to 6th form for my university entrance year. "I did not fail, Miss Evans. You were completely wrong there. What did you get?" 60%. "Pathetic. You barely scraped through. You could have done so much better." I looked at her long and hard, swallowed down my trepidation, walked away thinking, I already am doing so much better. I'm not an asshole of a human being like you, Miss Evans. It's kind of interesting that when I was 40, I had a boyfriend named Courtney Evans, and another Evans that tried to destroy me and bring me down, by the way. But anyway, must be some ancient karmic loop from some other lifetime. But fuck that shit. Seriously. I never forgot that bitter, twisted, spiteful woman. Those poor girls had no hope with a teacher like that. Not while in the school system, anyway. I hope they made it in life, did great things, became great people, and fuck that nasty bitch of a teacher and many others like her. The reason I helped those girls had nothing to do with race or colour, but was because I too felt overwhelmed and alienated in that bloody ridiculous school. I too had been bullied beyond belief at home by way bigger bastards than even Miss Evans could dream to become, and by every school I had ever attended, and later at university and at work. I am blessed like that. But I know this racial bias is real, seen it many times. Othering of humans is an ugly business. April 18th, 2014. This single lady had an awesome night. Let's just say those boots were made for dancing. Ahem. Going to sleep now and picking up Ramon as he has a gig tomorrow at Bunnings, appearing as the Easter Bunny. Smiley face. Home with my grandson Ramon, happy grandma here. I have bought him some pellets and a carrot and lucerne, so he is pretty happy too. Tomorrow will be stressful for him, with kids poking their fingers through his display cage at him. Oi, actually he was such a good rabbit. He just sat and smiled at all the children and went with the flow. He was a beautiful animal. I miss him so much. A rabbit I miss more than most humans. Wow, there is a history, darlings. Eighteenth of April 2012. Still exhausted, but had some lovely calming energy healing from my Meduan friend in Indiana. I am sure this will help me greatly. 1 week to go until court, so I am living quietly and waiting patiently. Where are you, Charlie? Climbing the curtains. Is you climbing the curtains? Oh, well, anyway. 18th of April 2011. I'm home from the wonderful Seder at Mavis and Mervyn's and enjoyed the company of all sundry immensely. Little Talia was so shy but stated that she'd like another one tomorrow night. So sweet. She kept looking at the front door and asking me when Eliyahu would come in. That's Elijah. So when we left, I said he'd blown outside with us so he can come back next year, and I blew my breath out. She thought that was funny. 18th of April 2010. Dreadfully tired beyond belief and had terrible stomach pains tonight. My happy news is that Bella did her whirling dervish at the door, so I thought she needed to pee, but the baby possum was outside. The possum made it safely up the tree, so I gave her half an apple, which she literally grabbed out of my hand with her little paws, then ran further up the tree. Crystal has named the young possum Tinker Tink, as that is the sound she makes on our tin roof. I'm a bit worried as the possum mother has stopped coming for food and now it's only Tinker Tink who still visits. Hopefully the mum has decided that she no longer needs to teach Tinks how to beg for food, laughing out loud. And on that note, thus concludes today's readings of Even Date. I'm astonishingly tired now. But I was tired before I began this, and I'm tired after, and I'll be tired later, and I'll be tired tomorrow, and it is what it is. And as you can see, even back in 2010, I was tired. So I have to pull myself together and not be histrionic like I was yesterday. It was very bad form on my part. It really was. But I do get to I just get to my wits' end sometimes. I really do. And it's hard to exist in this world when you're on your own, and money's always a struggle, and you don't have supportive family, and you don't have a love partner to share your life with and cuddle with and get you through the hard times. So I'm grateful for my loving friends and my loving psychiatrist who buoy me up in my most fragile moments and remind me that my life is still meaningful and still can be beautiful, and I just have to keep growing and unfurling and manifesting and like a beautiful flower, and continuously strive to live my best life and not give in to the exhaustion and the disappointment and the trauma activation at times. I mustn't give in. I'm powerful, I'm beautiful, and I am worthy, like every other mortal on this planet, of a true and great love and a truly great, sustaining, joyful, peaceful life surrounded by people who love me. And that's my goal, people, and I have to continuously recalibrate it and work towards it, because it's a beautiful goal and it's one that's worth having. And yeah, that's my version of success. Other people have fabulous homes and plenty of money and satisfying work that provides them with plenty of money. And as my psychiatrist said yesterday, I'm blocked at every turn. When we fix one health issue and another one rises its ugly head. And it's not just the medical blockages, it's also the spiritual blockades and, being denied my true loving partner and enough money is another seeping fucking wound. But every day in every way, I shape up and I ship out. And on Friday I'll be dancing again wildly, and hopefully no fucking idiots grab me from behind like happened last Friday. And hopefully I'm surrounded by friends who love me and treat me with decency and honour and respect and genuine care, which I will be, because alter egos are playing and they do treat me that way. And, I'll have another lovely night. Then I'll descend back into my old lady exhaustion for the rest of the weekend. But it's all good. It's all good. I've been living this way now for 13 years with the wild dancing, and in fact, as you can see from the mention of the fatigue back in 2010, I've been living this way for much longer. In 2010, April 18th, I was still struggling from the death of my mother on the 7th of March, so a lot of that fatigue was partly, delayed trauma and unresolved grief and all that shit fuckery. But, overall, I'm a happy woman now. I've been shown what real love looks like, feels like, and manifests like. I've been treated with sweetness and honour and integrity. And I've got something to aspire to for my future if and when my health stabilises. And I'm very, very grateful and very, very blessed, and believe it or not, very, very happy with what is in my current paradigm. Seeing how much I am loved, even by my doctor yesterday, was just so soul nourishing. I just don't want to be a burden to anyone. I don't want to be a source of horror and agony and frustration, and when I die, I want to bow out gracefully and not be a burden to anyone. But in the meantime, I'm going to get busy living fully and vibrantly, and who knows, I may even take a lover again. I'll have to think very carefully about that, because I don't want to make any more mistakes or choose someone that's cruel ever again. The way my health is so precarious, it would be the end of me, for real this time. So I'm holding out for something beautiful and illusory, and it is what it is, people. But anyway, clouds have come over and looks like we're going to get rain, so I'm going to rush out and pull my washing in before it gets rained on and move with the flow and the flow of the weather gods and whatever's manifesting on this beautiful day, and rejoice in life as I do every day in spite of my mad and quirky ways. So wherever you are in the space-time continuum on planet Earth, or wherever my messages reach you on the outer echelons of space and time and dimension, be happy, be love, be at peace, hold your line, never ever let the bastards grind you down. Surround yourselves with good, kind, noble, wonderful people, and take delight in your own being and your own miracle of life, and take delight in your pets and in small children that were delighted by the thought of a ancient Hebraic prophet spirit visiting for Passover and being blown out the door with us. That was a lovely memory. Just take delight in everything, everything, everything. Goddess bless. Bye for now.